So let's look at some questions that are based on powers more than cubes. First question is 7 raised to 6n minus 6 raised to 6n. What is this going to be divisible by? Now, whether n is even or odd, a raised to n minus b raised to n is always divisible by a raised to by a minus b, which in this case is 7 raised to 6 minus 6 raised to 6. Now, this itself is always going to be divisible by 7 minus 6, which is 1, and 7 plus 6 also, because 6 is even. So it's also going to be divisible by a plus b, right? 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 is one of the options. There is no option that says 1 or 2, 1 or 3, etc. So you don't need to check for the other options. Your answer can only be option 1. Now let's look at the sixth question. You have an equation u raised to m plus v raised to m is equal to w raised to m. And you have to find the relationship of m with respect to u, v and w, whether m is more than them or less than them, etc. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware of Fermat's last theorem, but it was a very famous theorem which took 300-400 years to solve. And that theorem basically states that a raised to n plus b raised to n is equal to c raised to n has solutions for integral values of n if n is 1 or n is 2. For 3, 4, 5, for no other value will this ever have a solution, right? We're just talking about integers. So if u raised to m plus v raised to m is equal to w raised to m, where everything are natural numbers, right, is true, where all these u, v, w, m are natural numbers, then m can only be 1 or 2. M cannot be anything else. M cannot be 3 or 4 or 5. Now, if m is 1 or 2, clearly m cannot be greater than the other numbers, right? Option 1 and 2 is out. Is m definitely less than the minimum? Now, in this equation of 1 raised to 1 plus 2 raised to 1 is equal to 3 raised to 1, m is 1 and one of the other numbers u also is 1. So m is not less than the minimum. M can be less than or equal to the minimum, right? Which the CAT question did not state. So even option 3 is wrong and the answer is none of these. See you for the next video.